This is teaching for women. So I want to share with you how to get right with God, because you're 100% right. He is returning. We're knocking at the doorstep. There's not a lot of time. He will be returning to plead with all flesh with fire in the whirlwind, Isaiah 66. And those that have swine's flesh in their vessels, that stand behind their Jeremiah 10 Christmas tree doing idolatry, are going to be destroyed along with the mouse. Because the churches have gone apostate, there's been a falling away. 2 Thessalonians 2, they worship the lawless one that has elevated himself to be the Most High, the man of perdition, who sits in the throne calling himself God, sits in the temple, for you are the temple, and you asked Jesus Christ into your heart, the false Messiah, worshiping the creature more than the creator. The false Messiah in Revelation 13, who convinced them to make an image unto the beast. 636 Chi Ze stigma, Christ pierced on cross on every single church building. Isaiah 28, the land of the drunkards, Ephraim, America, the land of the pride. There's no place clean. There's no church that is clean. They've all fallen away from the grace of God, because they've turned the grace of God into lasciviousness. Jude chapter 1 verse 4, unbridled lust, wantonness, shamelessness, that you can come before the Lord shameless in your sin. Like you said in your video, we don't know what we are doing that could be sin, right? Because the churches don't teach you what sin is. 1 John chapter 3, sin is the transgression of the law. What law? For they turn the grace of God into lasciviousness, unbridled lust, wantonness, shamelessness, that you can come before the Lord shameless in your sin because you have undeserved favor. When the grace of God in Titus 2 teaches you to deny ungodliness, sin, and lust of this world, the opposite of lasciviousness, because it's G5485, especially divine influence upon the heart and reflection in life, that teaches you to deny sin and lust in this world so you can live righteously. What's Yahovah's righteousness? The church doesn't teach you. What's the law? The church doesn't teach you. It's Yeshua's 2 commandments, the name of the Son, who came in his Father's name. Not Jesus Christ, the one who came in his own name, that would deceive the world. The many messiahs, there's 46,000 different versions of Jesus Christ. There's a Baptist Jesus Christ, there's a Mormon Jesus Christ, there's a Catholic Jesus Christ. All disobedience, all who have turned the grace of God into lasciviousness, who teaches you Baal worship, Jeremiah 10, Jeremiah 7, Christmas and Easter, how they worship the sun god towards the east, and Ezekiel chapter 8. So Sunday worship, sun god day worship, not to enter into his rest, his perpetual covenant, his sign between him and his children in Exodus 31 verse 16 through 18, that never changed. Hebrews 4. For if Yeshua had given them rest, wouldn't he have spoken of another day? He never spoke of another day. He's Lord of the Sabbath because he rose on the Sabbath. Daniel 9, he confirmed the covenant. He was prophecy to refresh Yahovah's righteousness that the world is ignorant of and have established their own righteousness, Romans 10. He confirmed the covenant. He was prophecy to refresh in Deuteronomy 18, verse 15 through 19, and Acts 3, verse 18 through 23, with many for 1 week. The covenant at Horeb, the 10 commandments Yahovah spoke and gave with his voice out of the cloud in the midst of the fire. They did not see a similitude, they only heard a voice. And he gave them a covenant, his 10 commandments, which he wrote with his own finger on 2 tables of stone and placed inside the Ark of the Covenants. The world groups it with the sacrificial law, the handwriting of ordinances Moses wrote in a book, the 600 and some laws that was added to the Holy Covenants, because after Horeb, after they agreed to that covenants that Yahovah gave with his voice when Moses went up on Mount Sinai to receive the 2 tables of stone, when he returned, they had transgressed with the calf. He threw the 2 tables of stone on the ground, breaking them, signifying they broke the covenant. Then he went and received 2 more tables of stone and the sacrificial law added to the covenant until the seed should come, which the promise was made, Galatians 3:19. That would finish the handwriting of ordinances in Deuteronomy 31. That was a witness against them and nailed them to the stake, Colossians 2:14. Refreshing the covenant at Horeb, Deuteronomy 18:15 through 19. For he would rise up a prophet from amongst them of their brethren, and they were to hearken unto him and give everything desired at Horeb what they thirsted and chidden to Moses at the rock of Horeb in Exodus 17 and Deuteronomy 4 through 6. The life-giving water he told the Samaritan woman at the well about. For they thirsted, they desired water to drink, and they were baptized under that cloud at Horeb. In 1 Corinthians 10, the 10 Commandments. But Jesus Christ teaches you that you can be a sinner, you can break that covenant, you can be a sinner, come before the Lord shameless in your sin because you have undeserved favor. When the grace of God is conviction to teach you to deny sin, deny lust, so you can keep those commandments, so you can receive his spirit of truth in John 14. For if you love the Son and keep his 2 commandments in Matthew 22, to love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Yeshua didn't give you new commandments, but one from the beginning. 1 John 3 and 2 John chapter 1. He quoted verbatim Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5, to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. Keep the 10 commandments in your heart. Teach them to your children when they rise up, when they walk by, when they lie down. Bite them on your hands and keep them in between your eyelids, your forehead. Not Revelations 13. Worshiping the creature more than the creator. Having Jesus Christ painted on your forehead. For when you come before the Lord, he's going to say, depart from me, worker of iniquity. With the spirit of error. For we're his workmanship unto good works in Ephesians 2 and Titus 2. Good works, keeping Yeshua's 2 commandments, to love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, keeping the 10 commandments. Verse 25 of Deuteronomy chapter 6, the 10 commandments will be your righteousness. And Leviticus 19:15 through 18, to love your neighbor as thyself, to not be respecters of persons or you commit sin, the royal law in James chapter 2 verse 8 and 9. But rebuke your neighbor so they don't suffer sin upon them. Love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. This is giving mercy to your neighbor. This is loving your neighbor. This is the love of God in 1 John chapter 5. To keep his commandments, and his commandments aren't grievous. And what was testified of the Messiah that Yeshua told you to go see in John 5 is what Moses wrote of him. Verse 46 and 47. If you don't believe his writings in Deuteronomy 18, what he would come and refresh. And in Deuteronomy 18, what was desired at Horeb, the covenants, you don't believe on the Son. For belief on the Son is obedience. Hebrews chapter 5 verse 9. Those that believe on the Son obey the Son, for he became the author of eternal salvation for those who obey the Son. John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. And I pray to the Father to give you another comforter, the Spirit of truth, the